we made the entire process transparent. You have everything in front of you, how much money you're putting in, how much liquidity is there in the markets, how much volumes is traded, how many users are trading it, how many community members deposited the funds, all sort of stuff. Even on the booth, we have a QR basically which will let you check how the top projects of Kaspa are doing right now over centralized exchanges. Like I was surprised today that I checked out Cas on Gate. So there's this pair called Cas Euro. You practically can't buy $800 worth of Cas with Euro without moving the price by 2%, which is insane considering how big Kaspa is and how important, that basically tells you how important market making is. And third is, of course, manual operation. It does require a lot of technical knowledge and the way of doing things, how trading actually happens. So we just got rid of all of that and made sure that you don't have to have any sort of technical knowledge to make it happen. We just have preset settings that you can just plug into, just change a couple of numbers, and there you go. You have your perfect trading strategy and make money with already of your holdings, and make sure that all of the projects that you are in the community is being done great. And of course, it's a fully automated system that you can access from your phone, your laptop, anywhere. And we are bringing in Telegram support as well, so that you don't have to even go to the website. You can do all of that from Telegram. Yes. So how exactly does it matter? It like market making AI, there's AI in the domain, it should be helpful, right? So how exactly it works is we practically help all of the holders to give access to market making, and basically let's a one more utility for all of the community, that token holders can be part of market making decisions and activity. The second is controlling your PNL. So until now, it's just holding the token and helping with all of the maybe shilling on X and all of the telling your friends that, okay, this might go up, you should buy it as well. Instead of that, you can use your holdings and profit out of it, at the same time letting others to get in with a good amount of money as well. So we make sure of that. And of course, is we have given it global access. So anywhere in the world you are, you can go and market make any of those tokens. And on top of that, maybe there's a regional exchange that no one knows of, and you can be the market maker and get your token to that exchange. So I might have missed it, but going to an exchange, it's a requirement to actually have a market maker. And exchanges open door to many different regulations, jurisdictions, and it's basically more people who might be coming into our community. So yeah, so how exactly it works? It's a simple 4-step process. You first sign up, of course, on marketmaking.ai and add your project or add your pair which you want to manage, and you can just begin with less than $5 or $10. I might have missed one more thing. We never touch the fund. It's all your funds. We can never touch it. It's on the exchange, and you actually have to give API access to the market making AI app, and we run it through that. So yeah, it just you can use your token holdings at the same time the pair, which can be USD, USDC, Euro, whatever your local currency is. And through our platform, it's just like you used to do with Uniswap. For example, you might be doing liquidity provision on Uniswap where you have to put in both sides, or let's say Aerodrome, which is booming right now. You go to the platform and put liquidity in. At the same, similar to that, you can do the same thing with exchanges, centralized exchanges with market making AI. Second is the type of strategies that I mentioned. First is conservative. It's the least risky way and actually make sure that you are always on the safe side and might yield somewhere between 5 to 8% on a yearly basis. Second is moderate, which kind of comes off with risky strategies, which might even come off with fulfilling orders that's more than $1,000 or $2,000 on those centralized exchanges. And then there's of course aggressive mode, which crypto bros love and possibly might yield up to 25% or even more than that. And it even can go up to like 50% if we do it the right way for the right tokens. Yeah, the third step is leveraging the platform. We call it MMAI as well. So yeah, it's setting the parameters up, like how much money you want to put in. You can have like $100 but still choose to put in like $5, and yeah, let AI execute it and come up with the best possible strategies out of all with respect to the project. And then you can just monitor a PNL. And yeah, there's basically a tons of dashboard there, and you can just check it out. The fourth is pretty much, once you have set up with the first pair, you can diversify across all of your holdings. And like, yeah, inviting more people to trade. The deeper the liquidity, the more people would come in. The deeper the liquidity, the whales, and you have basically more eyes of HNIs and everyone. Yes. So yeah, I'm done it. Okay. So yeah, so right now, based on the information, you can go on and do three things. First is do nothing. It's, yeah, just be on the sidelines and hold your tokens, which can be possibly used for liquidity, which would essentially help in with more users. Second is like just wait and observe. We are already doing it for multiple projects. And in Kaspa itself, we are in talks with more than, I guess, 4 to 5 projects. They are not here, who will be getting on with this model. And yeah, whoever is missed out potentially might risk out on the PNL, which can be positive, can be loss as well, depending on the project. And or third, it's free, so just join the revolution and yeah, get on with it. Yes, so that's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Any questions of any sort? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Very good. Say that.
Up next at 2:30, we have Angel and Kaspa strategy. So we have a little poems on that. So check out the event. I hope everybody put a dot on the wall. I'd love to see it all filled in. There's 9,000 of them, so I need everybody to go put a dot. Thank you. See y'all soon.
Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying from online. Miss you here. Wish you were here. Yeah.
Come on, hurry up. You have 9,000 to do.
Got me like that. I was just sitting there.
I have to say hello, Ashton, because everybody missed you.
Hello. Good to see you guys. Exhausted. This is fun. You should have come.
Yeah, definitely. You're missing it.
Wow.
What's a shot? Wow.
You trust it? You say hello? It's the Rock the Kaspa crew.
Just dealing with a customer right now, another one.
Oh, okay.
It's been one after the other.
We have a merch shop.
Say that again, you didn't hear?
We have a merch store. Yeah, this is the merch shop. So, yeah.
Don't tell everyone, they'll all come. Wait, we've been trying to push people away. They keep coming in. It's ridiculous.
I'll attempt to this yellow line, everyone. Is that code?
So now we're good.
Like, now everybody can hear you.
Yes.
I'm ready for a rave with all those looking lights.
I try not to sneeze or something. It's super painful thing.
I think you're all good. Okay. That's
Yeah, that's why you can
Is it?
compose. Yeah.
Are you gonna first when we start with the wave?
I mean, it's all good. I mean, for me, it's fine. It's as you wish. It's whatever, because people are might be around. So just check in. How are you good?
Then
Yes.
3:15. We might still start. So we have time.
Sure.
Ja, hast du nicht einfach so eine SIM-Karte.
Hello. Up next, we have Angel. He's with Kaspa Strategies, director at LehmanBush. He has 15 years in cross-border energy and infrastructure, and now drives institutional adoption. Please welcome Angel.
Thank you so much for having me. So, first and foremost, thank you for the organizers, the community, Ashton, Dan, and everyone behind. It's been amazing. It's great to be back in Berlin, the city I like the most. So, is any German in the audience? Like, Germans in the audience are great. Okay. I might destroy your language now, so bear with me. But there is this famous saying in German, goes like, Nur Vares ist Vares, something like that. Make sense? Someone can pronounce it properly? Sorry, yeah. So you can say Nur Kaspa is Vares, right? So that makes sense. It means like Kaspa is true. It's like only cash is true, only cash is money, to my understanding. So yeah, I think that's the reason behind decentralization and self-sovereignty and decentralized cryptocurrencies and power proof of work to that understanding. So I'm here to just tell something that is the opposite of decentralization, but somehow adds one grain to the decentralization. But before that, I would like to ask the audience if you could kindly scan this QR code and hit me with ideas. Someone went all in on the other side. That's good. So what Kaspar needs the most? That's what I want to resonate. Okay, awareness, great. Come on, don't be shy. You can hit more than once. Tier 1 listings, yes. Community adoption, community awareness, okay? Stick right there, okay. The L2s, L3s, B progs, I mean, you can go. People, okay, there we go. Tier 1 listings, all right. Smart contracts as soon as possible, yes. The end game, absolutely agree with that. Kaspa Michael, Kaspa Michael Saylor, okay. Stick by, okay. Binance, VPROX, stable coins, yeah, absolutely stable coins. And for you folks that are joining, you can scan here and hit me with what you guys think Kaspa needs the most. Just ideas, fresh, from the top of your head. We still have a couple of seconds. I'm not going to take much. This is a short talk. Yes. Okay, adoption awareness there. Okay, I think we, yeah, hype. Okay, mine is hype. More use cases like XLM. I don't know why XLM has an actual use case, but yes, let's try. Say yes. Community, easy phone access. Easy phone access, that's a big one, yeah. Integrations with payment cards maybe on the, on the apps. Okay, BPROX again. Use Kaspa as the reserve, that's interesting. All right. So yeah, I think awareness, adoption, and users and people is the thing we want the most. But when it comes to crypto, there is this very big question, like why we want institutions from the first place. So if we think, is institutional adoption relevant for Kaspa, can we say like how you strongly agree or disagree with this statement? Because institutions usually are, the mean ones, but eventually we need them, right? So, okay, so not so relevant, relatively relevant, strongly disagree, okay. So it's more on the agree, kind of? No, not really. Yeah, this is a very difficult question because most, purists will say we don't need institutions by any means. We just have the people, and that's it. And I think, strongly think, that the network effects are kind of in between. So this is me. A couple of months ago, I ran a chicken rotisserie for 6 months. That was my year of sabbatical. And I accepted payment as Kaspa as a payment. I don't know, only 4 people, 5 people pay with Kaspa. But every single day I met people and I explained them about Kaspa. And people liked it. This is someone posted in Lithuanian social media saying something in Lithuanian, which I don't understand clearly. And and the thing is, like, yeah, we need awareness, we need user, we need adoption, we need institutions, obviously, but Kaspa is for the people. So we could build Kaspa from the ground up, or any of us, we can do something among ourselves to make Kaspa word more known to the world, right? So that's my case. I wanted to just share with you my story. So, and before that, there's a question here. We have 13 players here. We can hit enter maybe. And this is just a quiz question on how we could. Okay, so which financial center has the most growth in the last 5 years? If we want to think about institutional adoption and rapid growth, where you will cast your vote in among these jurisdictions? So we have votes? No votes. Okay. All right. Okay. One. Yes, actually, that's correct. Dubai. Um, and it's pretty much here. The financial center of Dubai is the Dubai International Financial Center, or the DIFC. Before the DIFC, there's the regulator called DFSA, Dubai Financial Securities Authority. It's like the SEC in the US. Why this is relevant? Because, and why I'm talking about this, I just forgot about this. This is my work. I work in this company. I've been linked to LehmanBush for over 7 years. So they are a full private equity investment firm with more than $2 billion of assets under management in structuring deals in the last decade. The founder of LehmanBush is Dr. Edward Lehman, an American attorney with more than 387 years of practice in the US. And his co-founder is Neil Bush, brother and son of former President Bush in the US. And this is a private equity firm. There are serious people doing structured dealings between Asia and the Americas. And I work in the Latin American desk for over 7 years. Mostly now, I am in charge of an energy mandate, which has a couple of energy ventures that we're negotiating. And because of this, I am negotiating the deals in the Dubai area. This has nothing to do with crypto at all. But this happened to be my work. And because of this, I met certain stakeholders, and I decided why not to have a Kaspa strategy. So the Kaspa strategy is pretty much the idea is to set up a vehicle in the Dubai area to make Kaspa accessible for institutions. And why this is relevant? Because in Dubai, if you are a high net worth individual, you have to have a fund manager that has to be licensed to manage your funds for you. If you're a fund or an institution, you cannot buy crypto or have access to any underlying digital asset unless this asset is recognized by the authority. So the DFSA, which is the SEC equivalent in the Dubai area, they whitelisted Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and some other tokens were approved after that. I think it's XRP, TON, a couple of stables to nowadays, and those were companies that they actually apply because either the foundations or the companies behind the issuers, they did this application. And from that point in time, institutional capital can touch crypto. So in Dubai, the restriction is the financial institutions in Dubai cannot invest in crypto or have any exposure to an underlying that is crypto, either directly in crypto or a synthetic product, unless it's whitelisted or they have been recognized by the authority. So this is a process. It works like a listing process. I made a request with them. I met in person. We had a follow-up call online. But on a personal meeting, I was trying to explain to them, okay, there's something really cool called Kaspa currency, which is a decentralized cryptocurrency, proof of work, and there is no institution or company or team behind it, or no central point of failure, or just governance or some sort. So who should do the listing? And the answer for that is only a licensed fund, a licensed company within the UAE can do this listing. That's why we establish some collaborations with the local stakeholders. Our general partner is a licensed C3 fund manager in the Emirates, and they will do the application with us. And that's basically the idea behind Kaspa strategy. So it's supposed to be what is called a qualified investment fund, only focus on, as I said, high net worth individuals, institutional funds or funds of funds, or private banking. Not retail. That has nothing to do with retail. If retail, they download an app, they can degen in anything they want. If they are very religiously strict, they could just invest in tokens that are halal in the Middle East. And there is like a buy bid list of that, and funnily enough, Kaspa is in the list. And yeah, so Kaspa as a strategy as a closed-end investment company is basically a closed-end fund that will have a life of at least 3 to 5 years to have Kaspa as a treasury. And ideally, we want to secure this DSFA recognition, which won't be just good for us as originators and managers, but also will be good for Kaspa overall, because we will tap into this DIFC capital, which nowadays moves value in around maybe $1 or $2 trillion in asset under management as the net worth of those listed companies. So this will deliver institutional exposure to Kaspa, and we are very happy to share this today. And I'm sharing this today because among the stakeholders we try to secure a custodian that actually has good practices, because we want full custody on an institutional level. And for this, we have some NDAs, but we have had already a letter of intent of a pretty reputable custodian, which has a US banking license as well, and is licensed on the Dubai, Abu Dhabi area too. So that sounds now good for us. And we're looking for the foundations on Kaspa also to give us some sort of endorsement or kudos on this. We should reach out to KEF. Now we're trying to reach out to KII, and ideally to K.A.T. I don't know. I speak with Ashton hopefully after this meeting, but that's going to be for it. I don't know if this is interesting enough, or you have any questions. This is me on X. You might be seeing me shitposting quite a bit. But that's it. So thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, please, I'm here, all ears. No questions. Good. Oh, yes.
So are you doing like a Michael Saylor move here? Did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so because it will be a closed-end investment fund, we want to raise $500 million in $100 million tranches, but that's going to be a closed company, so you won't be able to redeem that in a month. You won't be able to speculate with those tokens. It will be full custody, right, institutional level. And the timeline for that will be 3 to 5 years. So we don't plan to build any syntaxes on top of this. The problem with Saylor is like he not just have this treasury strategy, he's building financial products on top of that. So he's actually issuing bonds or like with collateralized Bitcoin, or taking the Bitcoin risk on top of that and building other financial products. So that won't be our case. We will be just accumulating Kaspa as a institution strategy for the UAE region, hopefully. Yes.
Any other questions?
Will the CEO also have shares that will be tradable?
No. So no, it's a closed-end company. So basically, you invest unless the management decides to liquidate the fund with voting accordingly. That will be the case. But the timeline for this is 3 to 5 years at least. So, and it's interesting because for that, the idea we wanted to have any of the foundations around Kaspa, ideally K.A.T, because of the transparency work behind it, and it's more community-driven. As a QIF, you could put an advisor on your board that is an expert. And usually if you get like an economist or finance people background, even CFA people, not necessarily will know about crypto, and definitely will hardly know about Kaspa if you just random pick someone, right? So we could put the name of someone to be considered as an advisor to the board, and it will be ideal if it comes from the community, because actually it could play out any kind of voting management that could be in favor of Kaspa overall. Yeah.
Just more the question if it would be available on the stock market, on the exchanges. Not crypto exchanges, but
No, for the moment we don't have that time horizon. That would be my long in the future. There's companies doing that, obviously, with other cryptos. As Tony G actually is doing this with Solana and Hyperliquid now. But yeah.
Any final question? Well, thank you, Emdin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We appreciate the institutional perspective. Next, we have Christian at 3:15. So we have a little while to explore that.
Great, thank you so much. And this back. Thank you very much. That's great. Super. Nice. Okay, then, thank you.
Trying not to. Yeah, for sure.
It's like my first entrepreneurial venture.
Yeah, that was a success.
I won't say anything confidential.
Next time you share microphone. So we'll do on the other side. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah, do I have a clicker for the...
Oh, let's see. Okay.
Awesome.
Hello, and welcome back. Next up, we have Christian. He's a Inc. 500 entrepreneur, early stage NASA investor, and large scale miner. Christian brings unique insight from both industry and infrastructure. Please welcome Christian.
How are we doing today? My name is Christian Ludwig. I'm an American entrepreneur and investor. I discovered Kaspa back in October of 2022, which was, if I'm correct, about a year into the project. And I have been an addict ever since, involving myself in the ecosystem, NFTs, tokens, different speeches, talking to developers, jumping in to manage a social media page. I've kind of been everywhere and done everything. So I'm excited to be here and speak to you all today. To start, I want to point something out that's been happening more and more frequently. Yesterday, there was a proof of work network that did 598,000 transactions in one day. There was another proof of work network that did 821,000 transactions in one day. Does anyone know which two networks these were and which one did more transactions? Yes, Kaspa did 821,000 transactions yesterday, and Bitcoin did 598,000 transactions. Now, this is an anomaly on a day-to-day basis. However, this has been happening more and more often. So I want you to hold on to that thought, and we're going to revisit that thought a little bit later. So prior to fiat money, throughout history, people used to barter for things. Before there was a piece of paper that held value, people used to exchange something for something else to get something that they needed. Okay, so an example in this picture, someone is exchanging livestock for medicine. Okay, today when we go to the doctor, we pay with our credit card, right? Or hopefully insurance pays for most of the bill. Well, back in the day, people had to exchange something of value that had some sort of utility to get what they needed from someone else. So in this example, this guy says, hey, I have some chickens. I raise chickens. This is kind of where I store my family's value. And I can give you a few chickens because they're going to produce food for you every single morning in exchange for the medicine I need to help my sick daughter. And then gold and silver became the first type of medium of exchange in addition to livestock, tobacco, anything that people used for something. So gold and silver had a unique attribute that there's a limited amount of supply in the world. And this gave gold and silver a certain amount of value on top of their utility functions. Gold, for example, can be used in computers. It can be used for jewelry. It can be used for heat disbursement in certain hot environments, like a high-performance car engine, for example. And people have always stored value in it for this reason. And then came the gold standard in the United States specifically, where money was backed one-to-one by gold, because gold held its value through certain types of utility. Again, we're going to get back to that. And you guys are probably thinking, oh, I know of a cryptocurrency that calls itself digital gold. What is its utility? Okay, see where we're going? Then came fiat money. One president one day decided, we're doing away with backing our money one-to-one with gold, and we're just going to print more and more money, right? And then came cryptocurrency. And the original vision was medium of exchange, magic internet money, peer-to-peer electronic cash. This was the initial vision. Unfortunately, the first cryptocurrency could not scale to fulfill that vision, and the narrative it has adopted is digital gold due to its failure. And I'm here today to tell you, in my opinion, it is also not digital gold, and I will explain why. I'm not the only person who thinks this. Okay, there are prominent Bitcoin maximalists who have been in the Bitcoin industry for more than a decade, top analysts who are also pointing these things out. And then there are other Bitcoin maxis who choose to totally ignore this like it's not even an issue. They kick the can down the road and they say, this isn't an issue until it actually is, right? When the house is actually on fire, that's when we'll worry about it. So Willy Woo is a top analyst of cryptocurrency, and here he says, Bitcoin needs to get to medium of exchange in order to be unruggable. And that is what we're going to explore together today, why he is telling the truth here. Gold was a store of value plus a medium of exchange for 6,000 years. By the 19th century, medium of exchange moved to paper backed by gold. We just discussed that on the prior slide. In the 20th century, store value was centralized and paper convertibility was rugged. By 1971, the entire world had fiat. Jack Dorsey on Bitcoin. It becomes irrelevant if it's only used for store value and it's not used for everyday payments. So Bitcoiners will say, well, Bitcoin is a medium of exchange on the Lightning Network. However, Lightning and Bitcoin are not exactly the same thing. Lightning is a brilliant solution for what it does. However, when you onboard to Lightning, you're not bringing Bitcoin's scale of security and decentralization with you. And most importantly, when you use the Lightning Network for medium of exchange, it does not benefit the miners of the base layer of Bitcoin itself. And that is the critical issue, which I'll be discussing today. So to me, Bitcoin is like a golden trophy without a victory. It's the original, it's the most brilliant, it had this immaculate conception, there's a lot of mystery around it. Some people will say it was God-given, and it's the first, it's the bestest, it'll always be the best, and nothing else will ever compare to it, okay? But what victory has it actually had? What utility in the real world is it being used for on a daily basis, except for like transferring value in big batches, okay, with people who can afford those transactions? So the question we're asking today is, can Bitcoin become digital gold? And why am I picking on Bitcoin today? Bitcoin is the benchmark. So if I'm going to sell someone on Kaspa, I have to show where there are gaps or trade-offs with other leading cryptocurrencies to show where Kaspa shines, or to show what Kaspa can do that other cryptocurrencies cannot. Okay, the age-old question. Whenever I get into a conversation with someone about Bitcoin or about crypto, or maybe you're trying to talk to someone about cryptocurrency who's never heard about it, the first thing they ask is, what is it backed by?
Irreversibly storing up production, right?
That's a point of value that can be something it is backed by. Michael Saylor would say it's backed by a wall of encrypted energy. And that's fairly accurate because the level of security of your proof of work network kind of is relevant to the value behind the coins you're holding within that network. And I want to get into the flywheel that is a proof of work network, because we're going to get into Kaspa and Bitcoin together here in a minute. But this is basically how the mining incentive works. And as a miner, I know this because I deal with the P&L. I know when things are good. I know when things are not good. I know hash rate, difficulty, all of that. It's a giant economic flywheel. So when someone is interested in mining, they see an economic opportunity to make profit. Very few people are willing to mine just for charity and just for the sake of being kind to the network. Maybe you're willing to do that with a Raspberry Pi. If you're unprofitable, you lose like a penny a month, it's not a big deal. But large-scale ASIC miners who truly secure the network, they're not gonna do this for charity. And if at any point in time they're unprofitable, they will shut their machines down. So it starts with an economic opportunity. Miners buy hardware, they spend operational expenditure on electricity, on rent, and they hash blocks to secure the network and process transactions. More miners equals more network security. More network security equals a better store of value, okay? That equals a higher market cap, a higher valuation, which equals more incentive to buy more miners. However, there's one issue with Bitcoin, with Kaspa, with every single proof of work network that is hard capped. There is Doge, but it's not a store of value because it's not hard capped, and we'll touch on hard caps here in a minute. Here you have an engine, you have two miners who maintain the engine. In the real world, miners are actually hashing the blocks, but this is as good of an analogy as I can show you guys. You see the two tanks on top? One's orange, one's yellow. The yellow tank is Coinbase rewards, okay? And Coinbase rewards are hard programmed. There's only a certain amount of rewards, and each proof of work network has a certain emission schedule to get those coins out into the world as block rewards for miners. That's how miners make their nut, and that's how they make money, is those Coinbase rewards. Miners can also make money through fees for utility as a value exchange that people are getting by interacting with the network. I want to do this function. I want to buy my Red Bull. I'm willing to pay 1/100th of a penny to do that. So that's my value exchange with the network. The problem is that yellow tank for these proof of work networks it's slowly emptying, right? And one day it will be almost fully empty, and that day is coming quickly for both Bitcoin and Kaspa. I'm talking like 5 or 10 years before things get dicey. And what has to happen is people need to see enough value exchange in that network to use the network enough in order to sustain a fee market over an emissions-based market for the security of the network and the value storage of your digital commodity. So what makes a proof of work engine everlasting? What's the answer? Fees. Okay. I know our stage is not this big yet, but I think it will be one day for the reasons I'm about to discuss. What do you see in the background of his presentation? 21 million what? What does that have to do with anything? That's the hard cap of Bitcoin, right? This is the key narrative that gives Bitcoin its psychological value of being digital gold and being finite, right? But what happens when every 4 years there's less and less emissions and there's more and more miners and the market cap's not going up fast enough? Miners are going to become unprofitable and they're going to shut down. And the easiest solution to this is lifting the hard cap. And this is already being discussed amongst Bitcoin core developers. And there's now a 5% consensus, up from a 0% consensus from core developers, that the supply cap should be taken off. And what would this do? This would kill the entire narrative of digital gold. So let's talk about gold's psychological value versus its practical value. Its psychological value is that only so much can be mined and it's finite. However, gold's practical value is what it can be used as a backup option for medium of exchange. Just like we talked about with the chicken and medicine example, if gold fails to be psychologically perceived as a store of value, it can always be used for other things that are valuable. And that's what actually gives it its value. However, today I'm here to compare Bitcoin to a peacock. It's beautiful. People will stare at it for hours. It's rare, it's special. However, it cannot fly. It can't fly. So on Kaspa's Genesis block in ancient Aramaic is inscribed a Bible verse. Something like, whatever you and your brothers wish to do with your silver and gold, please do so by the will of your God. And I believe this was put there as a reference of Kaspa being complementary to Bitcoin in the sense of it's a hard cap commodity that was fair launched, that's proof of work. Those are all the qualifications to make something a digital commodity being worth tagged as a digital silver or a digital gold. However, what I think people have failed to realize, and what Jack Dorsey and Willy Woo, who are Bitcoin proponents, are starting to point out, is that utility is a prerequisite for value retention. i.e., you cannot be digital gold without first being digital silver. Enter Kaspa. So this is a graveyard of Bitcoin wannabe coins. Has anyone had exposure to these coins at one point in time? Did you ride the elevator up and down? Yep, I sure did. 2017 with Bitcoin Cash, it actually flipped Bitcoin, if you guys know that. That's why you can never count anything crazy happening with Kaspa's market cap in relation to Bitcoins. But these were all solutions to Bitcoin not being peer-to-peer electronic cash. Once people figured out it wasn't scaling a few years into becoming popular. These networks, however, made significant trade-offs in order to be a little bit faster. And they were just slight forks or slight tweaks to Bitcoin, namely just having slightly larger blocks. During this time, there was a young man working with his advisors, working with his students, silently for 10 plus years, putting out research papers on how to scale Bitcoin, starting with the first ever security audit of Bitcoin. These papers were used for Ethereum's consensus model. They were mentioned in Cardano, XRP, many different research papers are used for different consensus mechanisms. And during those 10 years, this gentleman and group of people, they were never selfish enough to just put these academic papers into production themselves, until that was an idea a few years ago, and Kaspa was put into production off the back of the GhostDAG research paper and protocol. So we all know what is different about Kaspa compared to a linear blockchain. It's able to introduce a whole new dimension and scale in terms of blocks per second, as well as scale in terms of transactions per second. What's unique about Kaspa is it's actually fast enough to be expressive as a proof of work network, similar to how Ethereum was, except it's much more secure pound for pound than Ethereum because there's ASICs involved, and it's more decentralized because it's fair launched and there were no crazy pre-mines like we see with Ethereum. Now, what is unique about Kaspa? What's unique about Kaspa is it's the first coin ever to be pound for pound as secure and decentralized as Bitcoin. And some people can make arguments that it's more secure and more decentralized than Bitcoin. And Elliott and I were touching on a few of those things earlier. But also is able to be expressive and offer a lot of utility. So we go back to what I was talking about with what makes a digital commodity. it has to be a Satoshi system, it has to be fair launch, it has to be proof of work, has to be secure and decentralized, just as Bitcoin is. But Kaspa is the first offering that introduces expression and easy value exchange of a utility. So this is an example of smart contract execution between Ethereum and Kaspa. As you can see, the smart contract function deploys in half the amount of time, and these speeds will improve as smart contracts are adopted on Kaspa. The crazy thing is on Ethereum, the cost for this smart contract function was $16.96. On Kaspa, it was 1 penny. Okay, and as a businessman, I know that capital and money always flows where there's least resistance, kind of like a stream or a river. It's just going to go wherever its easiest path of least resistance is. And Kaspa has so much to offer in terms of instantaneous block times, internet speed block times, and cheap fees. So in theory, anyone who, and it has Bitcoin-like security and decentralization. So in theory, anyone who has a brain who sees Kaspa over time will choose to exchange value with the Kaspa network versus any other network. And this brings fees to the network. Fees utility brings value creation and value storage to the network. So let's dive into a little bit about everything that Kaspa offers in terms of exchanging value on the network, choosing to spend my money to get something done on the network. That can include expression, sequencing and verifying of content. It can include decentralized communication, as we're seeing with the Casilla app. It's the first truly censorship-resistant communication application in the world that's fully decentralized. And a sequencer of value, MOE payments, energy trading, settlement, AI, inference, settlement. It's a utility monster, is what Kaspa is. So utility equals use equals fees, which equals an evergreen proof of work network. And if you do not have utility, your proof of work network is either doomed from a security standpoint, or you're going to need to lift the hard cap, and any idea that it's digital gold flies out the window. So let's compare Bitcoin with Kaspa. So on the supply end of things, we'll talk about demand in a minute, but on the supply end of things, Kaspa is more rare in time than Bitcoin is. It has a better stock to flow ratio, meaning that its emissions will tail off quicker than Bitcoin's. I have an interesting exercise for us to go through to demonstrate the issues with the security budget here. This makes a few assumptions. This makes an assumption that Bitcoin's price is $1 million in 2029, that Kaspa's price is $33 in 2029, and both networks are being fully utilized. Okay, those are the assumptions. I know the colors don't show up here too well, but there's a yellow zone, an orange zone, and a red zone. Can you see that near the bottom? Okay, so right now, in the year 2025, both are safe, right? But once you get into the orange zone, and the white lines here are the emission schedules of both. Once you get into the orange zone and then the red zone, that's when miners start turning off their miners. And the security of the network drops and the value storage capabilities of the network drop. So in 2029, each of these assets will require a security budget of 0.78% in order to stay out of the red. Okay, how do we fill the security budget? We have to use that other tank, that orange tank, right? We need fees, okay? But what's it gonna cost when these networks are congested at these market caps that these assets are probably gonna be at in a few years? One transaction on Bitcoin is gonna cost approximately $363. Whereas with Kaspa, because it has much higher throughput and has so many more blocks, i.e. as many blocks in a day as Bitcoin has had in its entire life, it's still going to be less than a penny to transact. To demonstrate this in a different manner, we have two big black boxes here. Each black box represents the entire world population, and the red represents how many transactions can be done on each network in 1 month. Okay, over here, this is how many transactions can be done in 1 month at $363 per transaction. And on Kaspa, you can essentially have the entire world transact on the network for 1 penny within that month, yes. So this means that there's a lot of value creation in that people are not going to be economically priced out to transact on the network, and the network can handle as many transactions as it takes to maintain the fee network. So what I'm saying in all this in conclusion is Kaspa is everyday money and also the pinnacle of value storage. So when you buy Kaspa and you hold on to Kaspa, you're not speculating in a technology, you're making a bet on superior value storage. You're making a bet in that what you hold is like having chickens back in the day that have something to offer someone else in the future, that you can exchange for anything of value that you can use to protect the financial situation of your family. So what I mean by this is once other people with more money than me and you discover Kaspa, they're going to accumulate a lot of it. Here's an interesting comparison to Kaspa today and Bitcoin the same time period off of the Genesis block. So we are 3.5 years into Kaspa. This was Bitcoin 3.5 years into Bitcoin. 130 petahash compared to 650 petahash. I know that's not an apples to apples comparison, but what I'm saying is Kaspa does have more hash rate today than Bitcoin had just as far in. More daily transactions than Bitcoin had, but look at the market cap, guys. Kaspa has just over a $2 billion market cap today, whereas Bitcoin, the same time in with less hash rate, less daily transactions, had a $6 billion market cap. And what have I told you today? Kaspa has the same form factor as Bitcoin, but is superior from a technological standpoint, superior from a value retainment standpoint. And yet Bitcoin, I think, has 1,000 times of a higher market cap. This is what we call in business or investing an asymmetrical opportunity. So what does this mean for my pockets, Christian? So what's super interesting about Kaspa and Bitcoin is they're so similar, but one thing I noticed like 2 years ago when I posted on Twitter, and people laughed at me for this, like, you're smoking crack, is I noticed the charts looked similar, just on a different time scale. And that's still playing out today. And part of me just wonders if that was meant to be, just because there's so many parallels between the two assets. Kaspa beat Bitcoin in terms of time to a $1 billion market cap. And Bitcoin, prior to Kaspa beating its record, was the fastest growing asset in the world to go from a $0 market cap to a $1 billion market cap. Pepe coin did beat this record, although briefly coming right above 1 billion and then crashing below. It did not maintain its $1 billion record. Kaspa beat Bitcoin to the $1 billion mark in terms of timeline and has sustained above a $1 billion market cap. This is the first coin to do it faster than Bitcoin's ever done it. That's an incredible achievement financially. So my base thesis is that over time, Kaspa will become a superior digital commodity to Bitcoin in due time. And I think that means this trend continues at the very least. I'm not going to sit up here and give my bull case because I don't like to do that. I like to talk conservatively and talk about base cases. The base case, for the reasons I've mentioned in this presentation, is Kaspa will continue to beat Bitcoin to key market caps. So this means getting to $3.7 within the next 4 years, very probably within this bull cycle, and then $37 early next decade. Thank you all for your time. Any questions?
How do you see it with the thing that you said? Yeah, when the big boys are gonna see Kaspa, they're gonna adapt it for sure. But one of the first big miners of Kaspa was obviously Mara, no? Like the BlackRock Mara, and they dumped Bitcoin. So how do you see the case if Kaspa is not wanted? You know, if they see it not as a possible option, if they see it as a danger. How do you? I mean. We can make paper Bitcoin, paper Kaspas with listing it on Coinbase and doing the same manipulation to Bitcoin. How do you see that case, like the worst case?
Yeah. First of all, Marathon is not a large scale Kaspa miner. They don't. I know.
Mara before.
Yeah, but I know like 10 different miners who are larger than Marathon. And
all fathers started at the beginning, no, in the very big tech.
Also, most miners, they're in business to make immediate profit and they sell their coins immediately. If someone wants to accumulate, they just buy the asset, and that's usually a better risk reward over time. And from what I know, I don't think Marathon, they still have a sizable bag, over 20 million. So they didn't sell everything, but they hedged their bets and they showed the market that they could use a superior asset's value to make up for not great profits on a less superior asset. And what was the second part to your question?
The second part was like, are you feared of manipulation and the kind of making paper Kaspa, buying up with that paper Kaspa, and the normal Kaspa and kind of dumping it on the market, or maybe?
Yeah, I think, you know, exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, they launch futures, they could short the price, whatever.
Makes you short a little bit.
Yeah, but that, I only think coins of this stature and market cap can only be manipulated for short periods of time by like a factor of 2% max. So it's a factor, but it's really a non-issue. Yeah.
Thank you, Christian. Question about, I mean, how do you see the difficulty at the moment for Kaspa? Why to
Yes, so difficulty drops when miners turn off their miners. Miners turn off their miners when they don't see profit in the moment. And that happens when there's a high demand of people buying miners, and then price drops. So I actually succumbed to this illusion, and I made a bad decision, and I sold a large amount of Kaspa to buy a large amount of miners when the price was 17 cents to 20 cents. And then what happened is the price went down and more people kept buying miners and the difficulty went up. And I actually think there was an over exuberation of people investing in mining, because Jonathan is an OG. He writes research papers that Ethereum was based off of. And then this guy launches a coin. All the original Bitcoin miners who've been around for 10 to 12 years, they all FOMO into mining. Everyone FOMOs into mining. And basically there's too much hash rate to support a certain market cap, especially when the chart skyrockets past $1 billion from zero and just looks vertical. People are going to take the opportunity to short. They're going to take the opportunity to FUD. And the price needs to take a breather at some point, as it has had a very effective breather and I think is about to start another bull cycle. So yeah, hash rate dips are normal. There were much more severe hash rate dips on Bitcoin, much more severe price dips on Bitcoin, exceeding 50%, which Kaspa has nowhere near exceeded. And it's how the cookie crumbles.
Thank you. So you think miners can sustain with this low price at the moment, at least for the upcoming 3 years cycle?
Yeah, I mean, I myself, we have over 350 miners and we're profitable. So there was only 1 or 2 weeks where we were not profitable. So yeah, while it's not raining money from the ceiling, it's still a viable
it's still viable to support the network. And I think we'd all agree that Kaspa and altcoins, especially with the macroeconomic situation of tariffs and no rate cuts, altcoins are like suppressed below the floor right now, and they're about to pop. There's about to be a really large repricing of crypto assets that happens once every 4 years. And when we're all back here next year, you're all going to be high-fiving each other, and the thought of like, oh, security budget, whatever, it's not going to be on your mind. But then in the next bear market, all of this that I talked about is going to come into play, and that's where Kaspa is truly going to show its colors, and it's going to fly in a proverbial sense versus Bitcoin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Christian. So I had a question because we know that thanks to Kaspa's throughput, you can be profitable if you solve mine. But I was wondering if you, as an industrial miner, you apply strategy in your mining, or you just go full mining and just go with the flow?
Yes. So there are some strategies that we apply that no one knows about, but if I told you about it, then I want to have my advantage. But there are unique strategies that you can deploy if you know where to look. Obviously, finding cheap power is the best strategy, right? So, you know, people will put their miners in Ethiopia to mine at 4 cents versus 7 cents. That's one way to extract more value, right? But there are other ways as well.
Any other questions?
Hey, so first of all, I think the presentation was really the shit, really awesome, really high quality. So I saw this chart with the two cubes where Bitcoin has just a little thing filled and Kaspa the whole thing. First I didn't get it, I thought, now I get it. So do you think, due to the fact that Kaspa can settle like billions transactions per day, that it could serve as the ether for, and I wrote this down because I thought I'm going to forget it, Kaspa-driven peer-to-peer economy and peer-to-peer finance, and to what point will it, could it, and should it be replacing the way we function together as a big society, maybe thinking into virtual kind of communities, virtual, you know, this kind of stuff. Do you know anything about that and any aspirations with Kaspa?
Yeah, I think magical things can happen when you mix Satoshi's true product of peer-to-peer electronic cash with the ability to have expression. You're able to have smart contract functionality for anything, and you're able to use the best commodity in the world to transact and use as gas. So for those reasons, it unlocks any type of economy to be ran on Kaspa.
And even going in or organizing a society.
Sounds interesting.
Organizing
like a secret society?
Well, you know, for me, it's like not anonymous society, but pseudonymous society. So you open up a wallet today, and if I transact with you and I see your wallet is 10 years old and it didn't have any claims, or like, you know, you hurt someone and they can kind of rate you publicly on your wallet, it's pseudonymous. You can always decide to choose to take a new identity because you want to leave your past in the past, but then you start with zero, right? And that's a way how we can identify and trust each other also in the real world.
You sound like a hacker. I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it. You all look so fabulous. Look at this, standing room on the names to the faces. So I think you all deserve a round of applause. memorialize this, and we're going to take a photo. Look at this. Everybody has been standing room every speech. This is fabulous. Thank you all.
Perfect, guys. We'll do a group photo, so why don't everybody stand up, except for the first row. The first row is full with old people that can sit, but the rest can all stand up. Can sit. Okay, get a little closer, get a little closer. This is Berlin. You get as close as you get, and then 10 more inches. Okay? That's how Berlin is done. That's perfect. That's perfect. Get a little closer, even a little closer.
We're all cast fam. Let's be all together.
To move your hands, and then we'll get even closer. Okay. Now, guys, does everybody of you guys know how to take a good group photo? There's a good way and there's an illegal way, and I only know the illegal way. The best way to take a good group photo is just to grab somebody else's butt in front of you and just grab. But instead of grabbing somebody else's butt, you just lift your arms right now in 3, 2, 1, and go! And that is pretty good. Pretty good. We're just in the garden group, but a little higher. 3, 2, 1, and perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Dev Expo at 4 p.m. So if you're interested to see who's building on Kaspa, it's going to be a very nice time. Oh, yes, thank you. Julien Kaskad. Alex. Julien, yeah. Okay.
There's another speaker on in a second, guys. I think it's Kaskad. You stick one on somebody as well?
Oh yeah, you can stick him.
Very good. If you can have two.
Okay.
Yes, I know. I walked over.
Ça change le pointeur.
Je te le donne avant ta slide.
Ouais,
Igra.
parfait. Et puis après, moi je peux aller jusqu'à la prochaine slide où c'est 3. Et toi tu peux enchaîner dessus, je pense. Enfin, on va voir. Hein. Sans c'est la team, c'est juste après moi.
Ouais, je peux.
We built little profiles for people, and I don't have one. Is it okay if she runs Julien's profile and says, and with his co-founder, teammate Jack,
talk about
whatever?
this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fuck ego, man.
Okay, good. No ego, don't worry. Just run through Julien's normal background that you have and say, also presenting with him is.
Yeah, don't mind me. Yeah, just plenty enough, right?
Et tu sais, parce que ça, je te le donne que pour la slide Igra et après je continue.
Je peux la rendre.
Peut-être qu'il vaut mieux que je fasse la slide Igra, tu me dis quand j'y vais. Parce que je fais Jack will have an announcement. Parce qu'après je le garde et je te le donne et c'est fini. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Ouais, ok.
C'est peut-être plus simple que tu me la redonnes.
Ouais.
Surtout
après,
que je pense que tu vas être à gauche, moi à droite.
Bon, je bouge un peu aussi.
Ouais. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Je pense que c'est mieux. Si ça te va. Même pour la slide regulatory, tu la passeras pour moi. Regulatory.
Ouais,
mais parce qu'après, c'est tout toi. Donc,
après, c'est tout moi. Ouais, ok.
C'est peut-être plus simple. C'est plus smooth, tu vois. Les gens vont pas voir, il se passe le truc. Voilà, je te le passe une fois, terminado. Terminado, les pépitos. Tiens, je vais boire un peu d'eau.
He'll turn it up.
Yeah,
We got it.
Ah, okay, awesome. Allez,
Allez,
comme l'entraînement, de toute façon. Allez.
Avec TG.
So, up next, we have Julien and Jack. Expertise in distributed systems, building platforms that enable experimentation in the past. Please welcome Julien and Jack.
Thank you. Thank you. In French? Okay, maybe some words in French. So, hello everybody, my name is Julien and I'm global manager of Kaskad. And I'm really happy to be here with Jack. He's the chief operating officer on Kaskad and it's my friend since now 20 years or more. So it's a bit emotional to be in a stage with Jack. So, and thank you to Christian to give us a good option with Kaspa and with the trend. So let's focus on Kaskad and what it is. What we want to build is a high quality lending and borrowing platform on Kaspa. So if you are used to enjoy AVE on Ethereum, for example, you will have the same features on Kaskad, but you will see we have different incentive mechanisms that we create and imagine. And it will be on the Kaspa network, so it will be with the speed of Kaspa and the security of Kaspa. The agenda of this presentation will be, first we have an announcement to do, so we'll talk about it. After we will go on what is the team of Kaskad and what is our vision for the project. We will talk too about the design and the mechanism of the platform, the incentive. I will go a bit on regulation, but not a lot, I promise. And at the end, you will have an exclusive demo of the platform with the video that we will show you at the end of this presentation. So first we have an announcement and I will let Jack talk about it.
All right, thanks Julien for the intro, and thanks to Kaspa Experience for having us on stage. So today we are happy to announce that we have decided to launch on the Igra mainnet. I think there are many reasons why we chose to do that, and I can list a few. Maybe I can list one, maybe I can list 10, but let's go with one. I think we thought that we were aligned by the way that Igra is approaching development, the cloud environment, verifying everything that is working smoothly or not, and understanding why. And we like the approach of making sure that they know what's coming ahead, they know that they will have people fund under management somehow, so they know how precious and important it is for them to be super prepared. And we in the Kaskad team share the same ethos and we share the same philosophy. And this is for this reason and for many other reasons that we decided that we were going to launch on Igra. And this is also the occasion for me to say that we are going to follow you, Elliott, on your initiative to run Igra Rally Network. And we will be adding to your allocation, and we will also reveal a few juicy mechanisms that we have imagined and how we could stay competitive, because we like competition, and somehow being validated on highways will be a competition as well. So we are going to talk a bit about this.
Yeah. Before to dig more on the design of the platform, just a vision about the team, because I know it's important, and for us to be all doxed as is in Kaspa core team, it was important. So 4 of the 7 partners of the team are developers. We have Elliott, who everyone probably knows already him, will work on Oracle and will be the Oracle architect of Kaskad platform. Anton, Pierrick, and Marius are developer. Anton is specialized in smart contracts and has a lot of experience building smart contracts in more than 10 years. And Pierrick and Marius, I know them very well because I already built a company with them. And I know Pierrick is a back-end developer, Marius is a front-end developer and designer. And I know they already work on research program validated by the French Ministry of Research and Education. So I think we have a strong team tech to develop the platform. And after we have Jack, who will operate all the platform. Me, I will try to manage and develop the company behind Kaskad. And Quentin, some people already knew Quentin because he's an industrial miner. He helps a lot Kaspa to develop the mining. And he's really good to find partnerships. So we will talk about it, but we will need to have an institution who will invest as retail on the Kaskad platform to lend or borrow. And it will be very important that we will be able to negotiate well with them. So Quentin will help the team for that. Our vision, just few points. As Jack said, you can have several, like 10 or 20 points as for the decision for Igra, but we want to open Kaskad to, for sure, Kaspa community, but other community in Web2 or in traditional finance. So to onboard these new people, we need a really good design and we need to simplify the things, because when you see how DeFi actually work, we spot some upgrades that we can do, and we will show you what it is. So onboard new people. A second thing is like continue to make research. I was talking with Pavel last night, the founder of Igra, and we were talking about theory and practice. And I have a metaphor is, for example, if you want to do great at judo, this martial art, if you just read a book about judo, you will be very good to understand judo. But if you go on a tatami, probably it will be difficult if you never go on tatami, even if you read all the book of the judo. But it will be the same. If you go on the tatami only and never understand how to make the theory of judo, you will never be great. So our vision is like every part of the team needs to be a maker and try to code or build something in a real world or in a real technology as Cascad protocol, but needs to continue to research and be curious about what will come next. So for that, we are very happy to have Elliott in the team who works with Jonathan, but it's the same for Pierrick, Marius, and Anton who will continue the research. So that is a vision. After two, we don't forget Kaspa miners. We know that, as Christian say, it was the orange tank, like the fees are really important for the miner and for the network to survive. So we know that more we have LTV on the Kaskad platform, more it will help the miner and the network. And it's the same with the LTV. And just for the miner, we have some mechanisms to imagine to reward them. Some points about our two key priorities, and I will let Jacques talk about it, but the first is just the design, and as I say, I built a company 1011.com. If someone are curious, you can go to our website with Pierrick and Marius. So we are specialized in collecting data, analysis, and visualize the data, and we will build all the interface you will see on Kaskad, and we are very open to feedback. So don't hesitate to give us feedback after this presentation or on X account to help us to improve this interface. But it's enough to talk, just show what is the interface.
Yeah, thank you. So there is a lot to see here, and this is just an extract on what we are working at the moment. But just to make a connection with what Christian was saying, where he was saying that technology will always follow the path of the least friction. I'm in agreement with this, but I would go further and say that even customers will follow the path of least friction. And like Julien said, it's super important for projects and applications to present themselves in a way that is appealing not only to the crypto savvy, DeFi users that we are all, I guess, but also to the youngsters, also to the young developers, also to your grandma, for example. And we have taken this inspiration in the traditional finance, for example, in the banking system. Also, we are also taking a look into some of the video games that we play, because in a way, we think that Kaspa is, and blockchain in general, is a way to aggregate data, and the expertise of Julien and his colleagues is certainly to know how to express that. And we think that it's super important for people who are willing to join this adventure of lending and borrowing on a platform, on any platform for that matter, to understand that we present the user experience in a way that is appealing to them and that also shows what's actually happening and how they are behaving within this ecosystem and this application. And what the video game industry does well, for example, they present data in a way that lets you understand what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how you can improve. So this is basically how we envision certain aspects of the platform. So we envision some ways for you to understand where you are making waves, basically, and what's the next level, what you need to do to achieve more XP, more voting power, because voting will be a super important aspect of the Kaskad platform. But also, we have worked on ways to visualize for the user what are the best opportunities out there on the platform and how to seize them. So there is a lot of work being done by Marius and Julien and his team to actually visualize what's important and how you can interact with the platform. And our goal is to be able to show this application to a banker and basically show them, well, would you understand this platform? Would you be willing to interact with it? And if the answer is yes, it means we are the right track. So this is our first groundwork on the design, and this is what we would like to push on business when we are ready to do so. And we will have a demo actually showing how it's going to look when we interact with the platform at the end of this presentation. And now I'm going to talk a bit about how I work with Anton, with our lead developer, and how we work on incentivizing the good behavior, because Elliott, you were talking this morning about how you can incentivize honesty. And we see in Kaskad that incentivizing long-lasting relationships with your customers and users is super important. And the best way to do that is to incentivize, to create an economy within your platform, an economy that people can agree on. And you have to also think about anti-gaming systems, because you can always assume that people are not going to play ball, they don't want to play ball, if you allow them not to play ball, especially if there is some good rewards for doing so. So we have approached the tokenomics in a way that we want to make sure that the people who participate on-chain to the platform will be rewarded rightfully. But also, we know that it's super important for us to show that we don't control what's happening on the platform. And one way to do that is to render our smart contract immutable from day one, meaning that the platform will be for the vast majority, managed by the users, controlled by the users, and the team will only control a certain aspect of the growth of the platform. And we made that choice because we believe that to scale, especially at the beginning when you launch an app, you need to be able to be flexible, you need to be able to see some opportunities, and we will also need to manage the liquidity on DEXs. So we will reserve a certain portion of the revenue of the platform to manage it, but the rest of the platform will be totally managed and governed by the users, and we have sort of ways to do so. And the key target of the tokenomics and the incentivization will be on TVL participants, and I'm going to show you a design right after that. But we have also worked on a system that allows us to monitor what's happening on-chain on the platform and how it can react and actually benefit from, as a user, you can benefit from the growth of the platform automatically. This is something cool that you can do. And finally, we have also opened the platform for fully funded governance, meaning that you can interact with smart contracts, you can govern how they behave, only if you are a voter, only if you are an on-chain participant. And in the next slide, I'm going to show you how we simplify this approach, because obviously the complete tokenomic ecosystem is more complex than that. But just to explain to you, we imagine the tokenomics in three main categories. The first one would be how the Kaskad platform is going to reward the TVL suppliers and borrowers, because for us, we think that we need to attract TVL providers, we need to attract users because it's good for the Kaskad ecosystem, but also for the Kaspa ecosystem. And we need people to actually use the Kaspa, interact, create some transactions. So the way we imagine the tokenomics was the extra incentives that will come from the Kaskad platform will solely be allocated to suppliers and borrowers in a way that if you supply TVL on the platform, you can earn some extra rewards. But if on top of that you decide to borrow, because it's up to you, you don't have to do it, but if you are willing to play all, well, we can have some extra incentives. So we will monitor how you try to behave on the platform, and we will reward this. And the second aspect of the tokenomic will be sharing the platform growth with the participants on chain. And this will not only cover the suppliers and borrowers who are part of the platform and they are making it grow, right? But also the Kaskad early participants that we don't want to forget. So we have built a way that will also manifest into those participants. And this will be like derived from the form of mixture of assets. And the last part of this tokenomics is how people who actually vote on the platform are going to decide how the revenue is used and distributed to the key participants. And it's even more complex than that. It also means that the voters can also decide how the suppliers and borrowers can be adjusted in their incentivization. And we believe that we have to incentivize the participation on the Kaskad platform, because if you don't incentivize people in doing certain things, they will just go to your competitors and just mind their own business. So we know how important it is to attract TBL and show good API, and this is the work we've been doing recently. And next, I think you're going to talk about regulatory compliance.
Yeah, just a quick talk about it, because it's super important for us, for example, to be dogs that you know the team, but to have a good regulation at the start of the platform, because if you begin to invest in the platform, you would like to be sure that we will not have problem with regulatory, and we know in crypto in the past that we saw it can be problematic. So we already have some partner. Currently we're working with strong partners, that is, they are very specialized on lawyer things and making sure that what we are doing is on the track of the regulator. It means you will have documentation, tokenomic compliance, term of use, and company incorporation that it's legal for Kaskad, and we can explain in a detail how it works with the crypto company emission and the labs for the technology. And we work too already with partner who has argumentation for MiCA regulation, that it's a regulation in Europe. So we know that we will be already compliant with the MiCA rules in Europe. So it's good news, because when you start lending and borrowing, you need to think about that at the launch of the platform, but you need to think at the license, that to lend and borrow money, you need to be sure that the MiCA regulation will be okay about what we are doing. So this part is not I'm sure it's very important, but it's not what we want to focus now. I think we have, before the demo and the video, Jack will talk a bit about other partnerships.
Yeah, just a few more words on the scope of our partnership with Igra, and we will reveal and detail more and more as they pass. But the way we envision our partnership with Igra will be via three main points. And the first one would be mutual tech support, because we know that our platform can provide a lot of data for Igra, and we also know that we will need a bit of help in doing so. So we will find some ways to collaborate together, because we like thinking in terms of synergies instead of thinking, in terms of opposition. And one thing that we would like to add today is that part of the revenue generated by the Kaskad platform will also serve an additional compound of the Igra validator that we are running with you, Elliott. So we will also think about ways included in our tokenomic on how we can strengthen the decentralization of the Igra nodes, validator nodes. And also there will be a lot of co-marketing with Igra, because we want to share everything that's happening, and we'll be happy to do so. And I think that's it, and this is time for showing you the demo, the video demo of the interface.
Yeah, Patrick, when you want, you can start the video. Oh, okay, it's already ready.
So this shows the wallet connection, and then we are gonna drive you through a simple supply and borrow sequence. And the idea is always to show you what are your actions, what are your current boosts, what are your possibilities, and we made it super clear and as simple as we could to let you know, understand intuitively how to behave. And on top of the video, you can see that we are also included some supply and borrow uptime, because uptime will play a super important role in how you can yield extra reward on the platform, because we will also monitor how long you stay, and this will also be part of the anti-gaming mechanism that we are implementing on the platform. And as for borrow, we will allow, of course, the Igra token to be borrowed against. and we will also show the best APIs on the moment. What are the best opportunities to seize, actually. So the next step for us is to build this on testnet and get everyone to participate and gather data and understand what we can improve, what's not working. But we are taking our time, and we will reveal exactly when we are ready to do so in partnership with Igra, so we are sure everything is working fine.
Yeah, and thank you everyone. And just be careful, the official link for official communication of Kaskad is this account on X, and the website is cascad.app. So because we know there is some scam sometimes, so just follow this account if you want more news. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free. Yes.
So, yeah, thank you for working on such a great product, and I really like your mindset and your spirit, like how you do it. I personally, I find this whole DeFi loan thing really powerful. Using myself as an expo, but they were obviously a centralized provider. So I'm really interested in the DeFi version of it. Although there is always this kind of lack of trust to like work with a significant amount of money in there, and I'm wondering how can you and how can we all want this, manage to bridge the gap, right, and make it trustless.
Yeah, I think I understand the question, but yeah, I think having a beautiful design is not enough. Having a docs team is not enough. Actually, you need to show proof of integrity in your code. So we will obviously open source our repos when we feel it's time to do so, and we will never launch the product without letting people actually dig into the code. But the beauty of building a decentralized platform is that you don't have to trust us anymore. At some point, you just follow the code, because the code is going to execute your actions. So as compared to Nexo, which is a super great platform, I concede you that, well, it's centralized, so you never know how much reliable the team behind Nexo can be or will be in the future. Whereas if you have a platform that is immutable from the get-go, and you can't change the code, and the team cannot change the code, which will exactly be our case. We won't have our hands on the code that people interact with. They will be able to adjust certain bounds of the expression of the smart contract, but this will also be embedded in the code, so they won't be able to mess with the code, but they will be able to decide which way the platform they feel they should go. But we will never be able to do that. But we need to prove it, and this is, I guess, this is the answer you are looking for.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, multi-trust layer.
Can be a good slide, multi-trust layer.
Ouais. Let's go.
Who are you?
So switch place. Like on and off, like you briefly mentioned at the beginning, I think that's an important part. Like, can you briefly talk about that?
Well, on-ramp is just the other side of the story, right? We want to be able to attract as many people as we can from the DeFi world, but we want to also convince banks and traditional finance to actually hop into the application. So there are ways for us to do that. You can embed an iframe and select an on-ramp solution. You can work with some trusted parties, but it's also a story about trust, right? Or we can also work on our own way to on-ramp fiat payments and work with them.
For me, actually, it's not an off-ramp, right? Because if you take a loan, you want to say that's what I love about next, so that you have the card.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so off-ramp is yet another story, but this will be part also of the development of the Kaskad platform, but we are not ready to share our solution yet. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Erwan will be introducing future ownership.
Thank you.
We're going to start at 4:30.
I was going to leave with this. Thank you.
And also the scavenger hunt,
Thank you.
we finished the scavenger hunt.
Thanks, man.
Where you checked in. And can't wait to see who wins.
Say hello.
C'est bon? It's good? Yeah. Good. Good. Thank you. Nice to meet you again. Yeah, we met in Dublin. Yeah, at your place.
Donc tu changes.
Ouais, il va me falloir de l'eau, hein, j'ai la gorge sèche.
Ah, mais tu vas t'en vendre une maintenant?
Ouais, s'il te plaît.
Il faut que j'aille là-bas payer pour.
Ouais, je sais.
Attends, je vais vous dire pour ça. Est-ce que
Ah, attends, je vais demander s'il peut. Non, pas encore, non. Je n'ai pas la zapette.
Can you again add water, please? The dry water.
I drink out of it. You want me to?
It's okay. Okay.
I go. If you're, are you in a hurry?
No. If you can give me that, it's okay.
Fine with me.
Good. Thank you, man. Just a bit stressy just before, you know.
Deep breath, belly breath.
That's good. Ouais. J'ai taxé Ashton. Un peu d'eau. Hein? Ouais. Là, il m'entend. Ça se trouve, je passe live là-dessus, tu vois. That's me. Non, c'est bon, j'avais.
Next, we have Erwan with introducing Keeping Your Own Ownership, a project based in bringing Kaspa's real-world financial tools. Please welcome.
Thank you. Hallo zusammen. Guten Tag allerseits. Okay. Enough for my German. Thank you, guys. So I am Erwan Henry from K.A.T team, and I'm really glad to present you our brand new project. Keep your ownership, K.I.O and not K.Y.O, please. And we want to tell you that don't waste your future to live your present. First of all, in the audience, who ever used to try a crypto card? Okay. Who felt disappointed at least once using a crypto card? Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, so I've came to holidays in Greece a few weeks ago, and I used to remind some stories about a random guy named Ulysses in the Odyssey trying to invade the Trojan, and to do that, he used to try the fantastic weapon of the Trojan horse. And I want you to think of K.I.O as a Trojan horse for crypto to fiat system. So first of all, we are going to see what is the problem of current cards market, what Kaspa provides as an advantage that we can change the game today. We will see our service and experience, and better to see an example than just words. We will discuss about the current market, the roadmap. I will present you the K.A.T team, and if you're wise and kind, we will show you a live demo, and then question and answer. We are risky guys, you know. So, what about the tales from the trends of a coffee bench? We used to try several cards, including central exchange one and decentralized one. And what we can tell you from centralized exchange card like Revolut, Pascal tried this and he realized that he was scammed a bit by a 2% hidden spread from his Bitcoin purchase of 2 cakes. And when he tried to discuss with customer support, they were really trained to be fuzzy, shady, and to drown the fish. From my part, I used to try MetaMask, Gnosis Pay, Exacard, and to charge, to load 50 euros, I had 4 euros fees. So it was 8% fees, okay? So it's not really usable today. And we see that there is a complex setup, hidden fees, and at the end of the day, user frustrations, and these cards are more a gadget than really used. Now, what we can tell you is that Kaspa gives us unfair advantages that change the game, because of 6 properties at least. First one is atomic composability. It allows you to, like if you do a cooking recipe, but in parallel. So in the same block, you can put several transactions and parallelize your workflow. You have low slippage thanks to Kaspa speed, so the price doesn't change between the time you start the transaction and you end it. There is low fees. This, you know that it's Kaspa properties, less than 1,000 cents. It's self-custody, of course. The subsequent finality one is really important because Visa and MasterCard card, they ask us to be less than 2 seconds finality to process the transaction. So this property is really important. And of course, I would say that Jonathan could rebrand the white paper of Kaspa peer-to-peer electronic cash system because there's no intermediaries between two people sending Kaspa. And the figures speak for themselves. Now this is it, the K.A.T credit card and debit card. Whether you can choose to just spend your crypto with instant swap, or you can choose to do instant credit, and thanks to the properties I just said about Kaspa, we can start an auto borrowing of your asset. It's your crypto, it will be your choice. Now, to explain you a bit about our solution, it will be both a wallet and a card. And because of Kaspa really beautiful user experience, we want to make a tribute to it, to provide a UI as easy to use as Kaspa. We want to provide simple tax thanks to credit line. Instead of having a lot of transactions, you will have just one when you reimburse the credit. And if you choose debit, we will provide the report too. So you don't have anything to just send the report to the authorities. It will be your money because it's self-custody. And we will provide a smart protocol selector. So at each transaction, you can have the best APY, okay? We will have low fees because we know that our partnership provide low fees, so we will add these fees, of course, but we think that will be less than 1%. And because we want to be global, we want to help the customer to grow their net worth using an AI vault optimization. So while you're sleeping, your assets will rise. Now, if we go deeper, first of all, you will have to install and fund the wallet, of course. You will have one KYC because it's mandatory for these cards, but it won't be connected to the wallet, okay? So we keep privacy. When you will have, after this only one setup, you will have to tap to pay or to do your code in the point of sale of the merchant, and you will have two choices. Whether the direct pay, instant swap of USDC and USDT, depending on the region, into fiat, into stablecoins and fiat, or the credit route with partnership with lending protocol, okay? At the end of the day, the merchant receives fiat. So that's why we speak about a Trojan horse in a fiat. You will have transparent risk control with health factor monitoring, and also a portfolio control, of course. Now, examples are better than just concept. So I'm sure that in the audience, a lot of people would like to impress their girlfriend, inviting them to the restaurant, and say, okay, it's almost free for us. So if we take the example of John with 10,000 Kaspa, at this time, Kaspa will be $0.1. I think it's soon. And he wants to pay a dinner of $100. We will lock $200 as collateral with an LTV of 50%, and we will borrow $100 in stablecoin. At the end, the restaurant receives $100 in fiat. Okay. So the dinner is paid. John is happy because his girlfriend is happy, and he will be happier later because if Kaspa rises, he can auto repay from gains. If he has cash available, he can reimburse his position and close it. And if cash dropped, we will have whether controlled sale of the asset to keep the LTV in the green, whether provide an anti-liquidation system that we will explain later in a few months. From an architecture point of view, that's why atomic composability is really important in our process, because we will do almost two features in the same time. First, funds and collateral check with a smart contract. Of course, you will give your agreement. We won't do it without that. And lending and borrowing for the credit route. Okay. If it's debit, it will be a direct swap. And at the end, we will have a partnership with off-ramp and settlement system. We are already discussing with Stripe via Bridge, an American company, and the merchant receives fiat, as I told you. Now, from a market point of view, from crypto research, crypto.com research, we can see that there is a growth of spending index and purchase, but a consumer confidence index that goes down. Maybe it's because of token dilution, we don't know, but we think that particularly from that, centralization is not good for this card. But from the figures, they have 3 billion volume for last year, 12% growth, and more interesting, 65% sorry, of groceries. So people really want to use it on a daily basis today. It's not anymore a gadget. They really want it, but the technologies were not ready for that. So we think that we have a really good product market fit for that. From a roadmap point of view, after this event, we were starting to develop our MVP, okay, from the technical part. We are going to launch closed alpha in Q1 2026, a public beta in Q2, and we aim to launch in Q3, okay, in 1 year from now. From the business part, we are starting to discuss with compliance officer, and we are doing preparing a seed phase, seed A phase for Q1 2026, and we will do a Paris launch event and or launch in Q3 2026, and we hope that we will have as much success as Kaspa Experience. Now I want to present you the team. First of all, for us, Kaspa community is part of the team because we will need that you spread the word, that you use the card, so we can share the information everywhere and make it global. Today, you have 3 people of the team in the audience, so feel free to reach us after this, this presentation. We have Jonathan, who is our go-to-market guy, and who did this beautiful slider. We have our wizard, Pascal, who did a few tools that you have seen in Christian's presentation for the test of Ethereum and Kaspa layer 2s, and has a huge experience in crypto environment. JC, who is our architect and CTO and developed the demo that we are going to showcase you. Daniel, who is preparing a mobile native wallet in C, not in Rust, in C, for Kaspa. It will be open source. And Remy, who is our smart contract developer. Thanks. We are going to showcase the demo now. So basically, Pascal will be a baker, and I will be the client. It's the first time that we do it, so expect a demo effect, and we will do our best. First of all, it doesn't have any more battery, so it will change the phone. J'en ai un. Attends, tu vas faire avec le mien. Few seconds. Je te laisse configurer. We have the cards on the here. We can give it to you after the event. So you have our links in the card, in the QR code. For German, you see that we selected real companies from Germany. So basically, we will do 3 workflows, 1 debit and 2 credits. Ready?
Yeah. So, willkommen bei Kampf.
Hello. I would like one of your beautiful pretzel.
Wunderbar.
First I pay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's
debit. Okay.
Ooh.
Did you see it change? Yeah?
That was fast.
Okay. It's Kaspa speed. Now, I don't want to pay right now. I just want to do a credit so I can reimburse later. Okay. Can I have again one of your pretzel? I like it. Beep. So now you will have a credit line. Jonathan, can you change to credit?
I will do it.
Yeah, so you see that the credit has been done here, okay? But now, if I want all the audience to get some pretzel, I need 100 of bretzel, okay? So we are going to, can you give me 100? Good. Because I cannot pay it right now, but I can do a credit, so I will reimburse later, and I have my 100 bretzel. Thank you. And they are good, huh? They are good, from Lidl. Yes, do you have any question right now? Feel free to ask. I see Jack that has one. So bretzel test?
Yes. Thanks, Erwan. So, you showed an example with the auto borrow feature, right? And you were showing an LTV of 50 questions. I guess my question was, will there be a way for you as a user to decide how much LTV you are willing to sustain at a point where you won't be able to borrow if you are taking too much risks?
That's a good question. I will say yes, it will be possible, but to be defined still, okay? But it will. I think it's normal that people should decide the LTV, but we will put some gates so you cannot totally liquidate yourself. It will be so done. So we will we will put some guardrails. You want to?
And the thing is, we are going to use different core platform, including Cascad, right, on the back end. So it's going to be all configured. And the idea is that for us, we'll take, based on what is the decision of the users, we'll be automatically selecting what is the best core platform to borrow for that users are the best rates for it.
Yeah. So just to show the rates and you have to decide, okay, I'll go with this one.
Yeah.
That's it. It's great.
It's a demo right now, but yes, it will be. It will be.
I see you purchased one of the six of
Yes.
Napoleon said, impossible is not French.
Oh, really good accent. You're French, yes, yes, I noticed that.
The question is that you were speaking about, okay, very good, for us, as part of our you were speaking about partnership, and the 1% fee is about what? The visa.
But because we, at least for example, Bridge told us that they have a 0.15% fees in each Bridge. Bridge, it's a company that has been purchased by Stripe, and they provide off-ramp solution, off-ramp from USDC to fiat. Okay, so basically they take 0.15%. But we will negotiate that, I think, but we cannot be less than 0.15.
There's no actually a system we can go to fiat in your reasonable way. That's why it's providing 10,000 of sales to install worldwide, and then we need somebody who's putting nothing money to go in. So
I'm not sure that I understand your question. What I can say is that our vision in the long term is to get rid of the cards. Okay, understood. It's to get rid of the card because we want Kaspa adoption. But at the beginning, we need this Trojan horse. Shoot. Okay, thank you, guys. Maybe Lucas, you are really prolific as a question asker. Okay, thank you, guys.
We just had so many great demos. I don't know about you, but I'm just really enjoying it. It's just so much fun.
Je vais le manger. Je vais le manger. Désherber. Merci, les gars. Cool. Je l'ai répété 10 fois.
Testing. Oh yeah, I'm mic'd up. Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah, yeah.
You ready? It's been a pleasure. We have one more fabulous presenter. Please welcome Felix and Kennedy.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Well, first of all, it's a last-minute addition, okay? So I was not supposed to be on stage today, but I am now. So thanks to Ashton and the K.A.T for the Kaspa Experience. I believe everyone had fun today. And there's the after later tonight. So as I said, we were not supposed to be there, so I was thinking about doing a live demo, but I had to do it offline, and we'll play the video instead. So right away, I'll present myself. My name is Felix. I'm the owner of Currency Solution, which will offer many solutions around Kaspa ecosystems. The first one that we release is Kaspa Wallet, Currency Wallet, sorry. I believe some of you already used it or is using it. So the wallet, basically, we want to offer what's best for Kaspa. Everything that you see right there, you have the possibility to control every layer 1 protocol right now. And of course, we will integrate and implement layer 2s in the future. And what we will demo right now is a on-ramp fiat for Canadian. I'm Canadian. So we will start with that market. Later, next year, US, and of course, later next year for the Europe. So our mission is around adoption. We want to make sure that everyone have the possibility to buy and sell Kaspa within their hands. So the first demo, right now we have the wallet right there. It's a test wallet. Let's say we have the total balance is not correct since we have many testnet accounts. But since I'm having the beta, I have access to other options that is currently in development. And hit start, please. So within the app, you will be able to, and don't mind the scan tangent card. So this is the deposit via Interact technology that we have in Canada. It's an API that's currently and can connect bank accounts within 2 persons. So right now I selected $100 US, which is 138 Canadian dollars. We have the deposit destination wallet, where the cash will be deposited. And from there, I will open my bank app, which here are all the Canadian major banks, let's say. So this is the first video. I'm now offline doing the bank transfer since I don't want you guys to have access or see my bank statements. And once that's completed in Canada, the e-interact is pretty quick. Actually, it's less than 30 seconds for bank-to-bank transfer. And what we use for Kaspa is that technology. So we can confirm that we receive the amount within our bank, and we transfer back to you the Kaspa you ordered. And hit play. Thank you. So right there, we have the transfer completed. We had the price lock for 5 minutes. So once we hit transfer complete, we will be confirming that the amount is received within our systems. So it should take a couple seconds. Once that confirmed, we then order the Kaspa transfer to your destination wallet that you selected previously. So that's it. And well, we did not see it at the beginning, but the amount we now have goes to 1,800 Kaspa. So that's the mission that we envision for Kaspa systems, for ecosystems that everyone here is building, and we focus on adoption and making sure that you guys here, even in Berlin, maybe late next year, but starting Canada by the end of the year, and the US early next year. So that's it for the presentation. Actually, it's, again, last minute, so I was not really prepared, but here we go. We did a quick demo for Currency app. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Felix,
Thank you.
for joining in on the fun.
Thanks.
And that's why we're going to have you all here. You're going to be great. Have some amazing speakers,
Oh, yeah.
vendors, sponsors, and everybody making this possible today.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing event. But who's ready to party? Let's go do some dancing and have Nacho after party. So we're going to go up this flight of yellow stairs to go up to the rooftop. See you all there.
before you go, for my son, download it to work.
Oh, sure.
You would tell me that.
Give me 1 second, please.
I've also received. Kaspador is in good mood today.
I'm always in a good mood.
Oh, dear.
Amazing. A pleasure meeting you.
Okay, then we see us later then?
Yeah, sure. On the rooftop. Yeah. Okay. See you there. Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you, Kaspar. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Possible to do the task with the wallet?
Yes, of course. Did you? 1 second. Yeah. Did you install it?
Not yet, because we thought if you already had it installed, you might say,
No. So you can do it by scanning this.
Makes it easy, I guess.
Yeah, and you create a new account. Save your SIM, and then definitely once ready, I'm here. You need a couple of minutes, right? Okay, I'm here. No worries. What's up, crypto pumps?
Hey, Kaspador.
Hi, how's everything?
Any last words? You know what the most last question was today? Playing smart contracts.
Yeah, so as I was saying on the stage, right? It's I've learned from my mistakes, so definitely now I cannot say a certain date, but soon enough people will be able to actually see on mainnet the power of Kaspa for using the DeFi, right? So again, apologies, I cannot say a certain date, but soon enough. That's the only thing that I can say. And kudos to you, man. You did an amazing job for the community. You did everything by yourself. You paid for everything. Hats off to you, man.
That's the end of the stream. I'll see you guys.